This is David Rovics with a song for today. One songwriter's take on the history of the world, one song at a time. Available wherever you get your podcasts. A 24-story building in London caught fire, causing the deaths of 73 people on June 14th, 2017. For many, it was the very embodiment of decades of austerity budgets, beginning with the rule of the still widely reviled Margaret Thatcher, but continued on with various Conservative and New Labour governments. Any regular visitor to England over the last few decades can attest to the increasingly dilapidated state of public housing, and you can't help but hear the complaints about the state of mass transit and other government services. At Grenfell Tower, the many complaints to the powers that be about the fire exits being constantly blocked with junk or the fire extinguishers being hopelessly out of date went unanswered. In the end, the cladding the housing authorities had, in their wisdom, decided to wrap the building in to make it look better from the outside, turned out to be a flammable fire trap. It burned, and because it surrounded the entire building, it made the firewalls in between each floor completely useless. At so many steps along the way, decent oversight would have stopped something from happening. The decision to wrap the building in flammable plastic, the fact that the cladding would compromise fire safety in so many other ways, no one, it appears, was at the helm. It had been deregulated into non-existence. At 1 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, no one knew what was in store. The fire started, quickly spread, till it covered every floor. Stairwell blocked, no way out. Smoke and fire all around. Parents grabbed their little babies, dropped them 10 floors to the ground. People cried to no avail. 24 stories tall, engulfed in flames. The fire ladders were just like toys, no use at all. There were no sprinklers, few smoke alarms, fire extinguisher out of date. All repairs, if ever done, always too little, too late. When they built Grenfell, they believed housing was a human right. But all that changed. Now if you're not rich, you should be kept out of sight, out of sight, out of town, or wrapped up neatly, plastic clad. The flats may all be falling apart, but at least they don't look too bad. The residents had tried to warn the authorities for years and years, but all their letters, all their blog posts, all their calls fell on deaf ears. Council housing taking space left to rot, for by and by it would someday be turned to dust in the forward march to gentrify. And in the meantime, if people perish with their children in their laps, it's the price the market has to pay to house the poor in fire traps. If this were murder, if this were murder, if this were murder, if this were murder. This has been a song for today from David Rovics, making popular education popular again. If you go to davidrovics.com, you can hear lots of other episodes of this and other podcasts, see where I'm touring next, and get on my email list. You can also click on CSA there on my website and join my community-supported art program, which is mainly how I get by in the free streaming era. I hope to see you sometime soon again here on the internet or on the road and hopefully in the streets.